Hello, what we're going to talk about today is how to remove a central heating radiator. Now there are a lot of videos and information about on how to do this, and they all suggest that you isolate the radiator and undo one of the nuts at the end of the radiator to catch the water inside. Now a few problems with this. One is the water inside is not very clean. It's usually very black and ink-like, and if it gets on your carpet, so your floor coverings, you're never going to get it out. Second thing is you've got inhibitors inside your radiator, which when you actually drain the radiator and throw that water away, you're wasting the valuable inhibitors. And the third thing, of course, you're wasting time and water. So I'm going to show you an alternative today, which I'm going to show you how to take the radiator off with the water still inside, so you're not losing any water from the central heating, or hardly any at all from the radiator. Now how we're going to do this is, first of all, we isolate the radiator both sides, same thing, which isolates the radiator from the system. Second thing you must do is get hold of a bleed key and undo the air vent valve at the back of the radiator, or sometimes they're on the end, and just open that to release any excess pressure. Now I can't emphasize this, that you must close that off. Once you've done that, don't forget about it, you must close that off to create a vacuum inside the radiator. So that's that. The next thing is we're going to attach a rad clamp to the end of the radiator, the bottom corner. Simply place it in the corner, screw it on. Rule of thumb is about 3 inches, 75mm from the centre of the clamp to the end of the radiator. Then insert your guide rod in there, like so. Now you're going to ask yourself, how's that going to contain the water inside the radiator? Well, I'll demonstrate that for you. What we have here is a seal. It's a rubber membrane seal, a bit like the rubber out of a bicycle tyre, and that's going to go inside the gap there and stretch over the end of the tailpiece once the valve is disconnected, and hold the water inside. And I can give you a demonstration of that. Here we've got a bottle of water, and the end of it is similar to the end of a tailpiece. So if I place the membrane over the end there and stretch it over, you can see it holds the water inside. It's just stretched over and it holds the water inside. That's what we're going to do with the radiator. By the way, it's not a trick bottle. Okay, so we've placed the clamp on, radiator is isolated, we've let out the pressure and close that valve. The next thing we need to do is undo the union nuts in between the valve and the radiator. Now sometimes these can be very tight, so what I recommend you use is a rad spanner and a rad wrench to hold the valve. So we're going to push this in a downward manner and hold the valve steady with the rad wrench. And that's slackened off. Before I do that, I must also remind you to place a cloth, an absorbent cloth under there, in case we do get any drips. So that's now slackened off. Now because we've got the air vent closed, for any water to pour out of there, air would have to get in. That's why I keep emphasising about closing that valve. So at this point in time, we've got the vacuum effects in the radiator, so if I slacken that off, you can see there's very little, if anything, there's nothing coming out at all hardly. So to insert this seal now is going to take less than 1 second. So you pull the valve away to create the gap, and got a few drops there, but it's caught by the cloth. Now that's over that seal, there's no problem. Just hold that over and then line it up with the guide rod on the clamp. Give it half a turn to lock it onto the fork and pull the whole thing that way to stretch it. And to hold that in place, you have a pinch bolt here. Just tighten it up, screw it up, and that is now held in place. You've now got, if you can see the gap there, the water is held inside the radiator. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Again, place a cloth underneath the joint there to catch any drips. The clamp's already fitted in this case. Get your seal to hand, get your rad spanner and slacken off the union nut. Rad wrench to hold the valve. So sometimes these can be very tight. That's slackened off now. Just maintain a little bit of pressure of the valve while you're undoing it. As you can see here, there's hardly anything coming out. I've got a little bit of water on my finger. Now pull that away quickly and insert the rubber. The rubber seal in between, that's sealed now. Same thing, slide your rod up against it, give it half a turn to lock it on, and pull the whole thing that way this time to stretch it and tighten the pinch bolt there. So what we've got now is we've got clean carpet, we've got the water inside the radiator. Now I'm going to lift this off in a second, but what I do recommend is on larger radiators get some help because they can be quite heavy. On the smaller radiators it's very nice, you can just take them off on your own. But like I say, if you think it's going to be too heavy, get help because they can be quite weighty. So I'm going to lift this off now and go to the next stage. Now there's the radiator. Let's place it on top of there. Now, I'm going to show you, there's no tricks, it's actually, there's water inside the radiator. I'm going to slacken off. This is if you do want to drain the radiator and take it outside, and you do have to drain it to flush it out or whatever, you're going to have to drain it. So what you do is you just slacken off one of the end of the red clamps, and you can see there, water starting to come out. Now if you undo, which I'll step around the back now, if you undo the air vent key at the end, you'll see it comes out a lot quicker. So that's to show you that radiator has got the water inside it. What I'll do is I'll reattach it, show you how easy it is. See, that's sealed it now. That seals it. And that's off. That seals it. Just put that back into the clamp. I'm trying to do it at the back of the radiator, so it's a little bit more awkward. There we go. So there you have it. The radiator is off, containing the water inside. You put it to one side, stand it on a couple of blocks of wood, and just carry on with your work, and you can reconnect the radiator. A reconnection is the opposite of disconnection, and just connect it up quite quickly and reintroduce the water that's in the radiator back in the system. Okay, thanks very much for watching.